Hello everyone! Welcome to DWR Randomizer. We're continuing our coverage of the group stage of the Summer 2022 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. It's the final week of the group stage action, and we'll be following two separate head-to-head races who are running the same seed simultaneously. From the Slime group, it's the number 1 overall seed NESCardinality taking on sillydabbit. From the Drakee group, number 14 overall seed SassageLink is taking on miplet. NESCardinality is coming in at 3-1, sillydabbit 1-3, SassageLink 2-3, miplet 1-4, and there are some playoff implications tied to the results from tonight's races. If NESCardinality wins, then sillydabbit is eliminated from playoff contention. And if sillydabbit wins, Bob Pineapple clinches a playoff berth from that group, and our other racers are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but the final standings of the Drakee group will be clarified following this race. Special thanks to our restreamer, it's MathGirl718. Trackers tonight are Camion Renekai and Fryteeth. Joining me on the mic and catching me up on all this action, DK9146, what's going on?
Living the dream. They're getting hot and heavy. We got some wings action, got the key. We got a stone's flute in the treasury already. We got gold in the bottom left. And lastly, a torch. We'll probably see a reset, but they'll be able to get the key action going here pretty quickly.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if we want to do any level 1 gold grinding from that. Oh, it's a wing start though, so there's no chest glitch. They don't have any spells, and it's only 7 strength. So a lot of them probably will keep the key, but it might be a little slow at first.
Yeah, very possible. We got Sassage kind of pushing out into the desert, definitely into the wrong zone. It all depends on what they run into out here. There was that one torch in the throne room, or the treasury, that might help them out if they ultimately can't find anything to kill.
Yeah, see, NESCardinality wants to stick to these forest tiles, because if you stray too far over into that desert, you might end up in the wrong zone. The ghost, unfortunately, puts him to sleep, so that's one of the few enemies that we maybe could have gone for with 7 strength, and now it's not looking great with the sleep and the hurt more. NESCardinality with the quick reset. He had chosen to save his game to check the treasury, so it saves a few seconds to do a quick reset instead of waiting for the death animation and the lecture from the key. You get to save your money if you had any. Of course they don't. But anyways, back out there looking for those first few experience points. Not sure if anyone's gotten a victory yet. Got a magician battle on miplet's screen, and that is probably going to go poorly with 7 strength. Sometimes you can just crit. That's always an option.
Yeah, just crit is about the only option with that magician and that starting 20 HP they have right now. So he decides to go ahead and give it a shot with the herb. He's saved as well. I think they all have, so he can reset out of that. Arbor Knight's immediately to the northwest on Sassage's screen.
Yeah, and NESCard checked out the southwest desert to see if there was any zones going on. Got some specters, so that's completely out of all the zones. Gets another hurt more from a ghost, another quick reset. So we are going to have a little bit of trouble getting off the ground if we can't find a slime or a Drakee or a red slime. So there are some options. You can look away from the primary zone, which typically has the weakest monsters. The next zones over can go all the way up to the wolf, but there can be some slimes and red slimes mixed into those zones. So there's a zone to the north and south, and then there's a separate zone to the east and west. So there are like 3 different semi-safe areas that you can look for the smallest enemies, and if nothing appears in any of those zones, it could be a while here.
Absolutely, and I'm honestly kind of surprised I haven't seen any of the 4 try and take a stab at the basement. Maybe the basement has the key to getting out of this level 1 jail. We'll see if one of these runners on one of these death warps decides to give that a shot.
Yeah, and there is that torch, like you mentioned, in the treasury, but the best target for that is probably this ghost, and that leaves you 1 experience point short of actually getting a level up. So it's actually a pretty frustrating scenario where it might not be completely worth it to give that a try. See, miplet is going to go after the ghost. Not sure if he's actually seen the abilities here. Did 2 or 3 damage so far, but yeah, so there goes the hurt more and unsuccessful there. So yeah, you can get a crit on the ghost. That probably is a 1-shot. I guess maybe it's sometimes a 1-shot. Oh, there's a Drakee here on sillydabbit's screen. This is winnable.
Yeah, sillydabbit and NESCard. NESCard just took it out, so they have found the key to success here. That Drakee didn't seem to have anything in its back pocket, so both of them take it down.
Yeah, and actually, it seems to still be the primary zone, or it's like a really odd secondary zone, but he's pretty far over to the west in the desert here as NESCardinality. Oh, there is a Druin mixed in. So he's either straddling a zone boundary there, or, it's just kind of a weak zone for the west zone there. And so, yeah, just choosing to run away from Scorpions and, looking for the Drakee. So one more Drakee would be level 2, and NESCard has it on his screen. This is going to potentially propel him forward if he can survive. Oh, he's using the herb. Heads up play there.
Absolutely, herb was very key because I was curious about only having that little bit. But here we go. We're going to get level 2 here in a moment. Well, there we go. 10 power. We got heal, outside, return. 10 power is huge right there. Coupled with that heal, we're completely free at this point.
Yeah, so now he's going to expand his search to the Scorpion that showed up there. With combine that with the heal spell. If he gets a refill, any Death Warp, and he'll refill to... he has a minimum of 8 MP right now. Anytime you learn a spell, you're going to get 8 MP to work with. So the heal spell can be used a couple of times in a slow battle like the Scorpion. He's probably doing like 1 or 2 damage here. Oh, he does 3 damage, so definitely, maybe not on this one because he's out of resources, but certainly he can look for this Scorpion after this Death Warp here.
Absolutely, and we did see Sassage had ran into one as well. I didn't get to see if he took it out. sillydabbit had found that one at the same time as NESCard, but just hasn't been able to come across a second. Now we see Sassage did finally find a second Drakee. He's going to get the good news about level 2 here in a moment.
Yeah, it is interesting that the zone seems to extend pretty far to the west. Either that or NESCard just thinks that it's the west zone because he's walking well into the desert, not staying necessarily too close to the castle. There's a Magician here that clearly is beatable with his 10 extra attack power, and this will propel him to level 3 at 17 points exactly.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, oh my god, 21 power, 6
Oh yeah, we're
radiant.
fully out of jail now, so now if you do find the next zone with some, warlocks and wolves, all that kind of stuff is on the table now. Now let's see if any of our other runners can find this Drakee.
Exactly, and Miplet did opt to go into a cave. I never could quite figure out what it was.
Sausage is on level 2, so he has a pretty big advantage over Miplet in that race as Miplet resets yet again. What did the cave? Are you talking about the basement?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Miplet went downstairs, seemed to be confused. It kind of maybe thought, I think it was either mountain or tablet, but I'm honestly not sure what he actually did with movements.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye if anyone else heads down there. I don't know. Was there an enemy that bumped him out of there, or he just got out of there right away?
Nah, he stood there, moved a couple tiles tops, and then stood around a lot and then walked back out with no encounters, so undeterminable.
So, NESCard, the best monster he's found in this zone is a Druin, I guess. That's considered to be a secondary monster, not worth a lot of experience. I'm kind of interested to see if he will hug the coastline there and go north to try and find, like, the north-south zone, instead of sticking like west of the castle here, because this is a fairly weak zone and he's pretty strong now.
Yeah, level 4 bringing another 6 attacks, so looking pretty decent from that. But yeah, the skeletons here, we saw sleep from one of them earlier. We'll see how often it's oh, and they have the full wombo then.
Yeah, so that's kind of an unfortunate zone that he's checking out over there. I'm not sure if there's any way you can access the north-south zone because there's water to the north and the south, but you might want to try like the forest as far south as you can get, or, creep up along the coastline up in the desert there, because you really want to find a better zone than this now when you're at this level that NESCard is, where it's not really time to go explore the whole map yet, but you want to find some stronger monsters to get this moving a little bit more quickly. Now, he found one Spectre over here to the southwest. I have a feeling maybe he's looking for that specifically, but instead he's finding still a lot of weaker monsters.
Yep, and unfortunately, we still have Miplet cannot locate that Drakee, which we know is the get-out-of-jail-free card. We got Dabbit finally getting his second one in bar.
Oh, here's the Spectre for NESCard. He actually hunted this down specifically. The Spectre has Stop Spell, doesn't land. NESCard has Heal to work with here, and this is going to be a huge jump. What a great play. He had seen this earlier when he was just poking around. Went back over to the desert here to the southwest, found the exact monster that he was looking for, and that is going to be a jump to level 5.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pickup right there. We're going to pick up another 40211, no spells, but, you know, we're bumping all those numbers up in the correct direction slowly.
NESCard with an interesting play to return back because he has enough gold now to go buy more keys. What you have to do is use the one key that you have to buy a second key from the shop first. He already knows that there's gold in the treasury, so you don't need 170 gold. You only need 85 for the one key. So you open the door, you buy the one key, then you go and open the door to the treasury, which means that you have run out of keys. But with the gold from the treasury, the doorways remain open. You walk back over, you get more keys. So he's going to take a brief moment here to walk around and take care of that while everybody else looks for more monsters.
Yep, so we got 3 of our runners out of jail. Unfortunately, Miplet just not quite figuring out what he's got to be able to kill here to get out of that jail. He's kind of just stuck there on the screen, not moving. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, NESCard's going to fully ramp up these. He's saving. I don't know if maybe he forgot there was gold down here. Oh, no, he's setting up for a possible grind.
Something happened to our tracker there. So NESCard should be up at level 5. And I'm curious what his agility is, actually. Because he might... The next phase now that there's gold in this treasury... you can always pop in here a couple of extra times, and you might want to look around for a town now, because if he can upgrade to some medium-sized gear in the very near future, it just propels him forward.
Absolutely, and in the meantime, Sassage has been down here grinding away. He's on level 5, cranking towards level 6, already halfway there.
Yeah, so 32 agility to go with the 48 strength, DK. He's got fairly low HP, but what do you think about NESCard's chances maybe running around on the map just looking for a town now?
I mean, he's got okay chances. We know Northwest is definitely a no-go. There was a zone like where Dabbit is right now with Armor Knights. There it is again, so you don't want to go that way. But other directions, it all depends on how much of this swamp is pervasive. It's all over the place.
This is going to be Tablet Cave, which NESCardinality is an expert at doing this in the dark. It's no wonder that Miplet just kind of noped out of here, because you can get lost in here, and without the outside spell, which they do have right now, without the outside spell, like Miplet on level 1, you can get lost, and then you can basically are soft locked and you have to reset. So I missed what the chest was, but the outside's out of there and is moving on.
Yeah, it was just a torch, Erdrick's torch downstairs, but nothing major. But yeah, he's able to get out of there. Great news for the other runners if they don't feel as confident. They did get Radiant fairly early as well, so they'll be able to get down there with no issues as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, sillydabbit has done a pretty good job of getting past those early troubles, getting a couple of extra level ups. Is starting to catch up to NESCardinality with experience, but of course NESCard looking for just the right monsters. The Spectre will push him that much further forward again. And of course all the homework involved with getting the keys takes a couple of minutes. sillydabbit will have to do that eventually as well.
Yeah, nice Warlock kill here for Dabbit. It's going to get him just shy of level 5. Have him enough gold if he does opt to go back and pick up those keys.
It's so uncommon that you look for a random zone like NESCard is doing here this early on when you're only on level 5, but it just so happens that this zone is just barely stronger than the nearby zones with that Spectre mixed in, and there doesn't seem to be anything super dangerous in here. So he's taking out, the Magic Drakee that pops up, and he's specifically looking for that Spectre.
No, and it's a fantastic pickup right now. I'm not sure if any of the other runners have got it. I've been trying to pay attention to the left side, but every time I look over, it's just a Drakee on their screen now.
Warlock is also really good at this exact stage of the game, so yeah, really nice job by NESCard, just propelling his leveling forward here. He could even probably stick around here for one more level, but we just got pretty good stat gains. We got heal more. I expect him to get moving now. 40 agility is enough to explore the map, but no, he figures this zone is pretty good, so another 120, 130 more experience will be yet another level, and who knows, you could pick up hurt more, or maybe some more HP is what he wants right now.
Yeah, I think the big hindrance right now is that 36 hit points with no additional defense for them. They're going to not be able to tank very much, unfortunately. They have a lot of offense already, though.
sillydabbit, I think, has found the same zone, actually, so that's pretty amazing. There is a Spectre here, and he's also fighting. I'm actually pretty impressed. This is not a very easy play to make. It's actually pretty unusual, and so now they're both in the same zone grinding. That's awesome.
Yeah, don't let Dabbit's record fool you. At 1-3, he had 2 extremely close races against 2 very good runners in Ziggy and Bob Pineapple both. With Bob, I think it was just under a minute difference between the two in the finish. So he's had some really good races for somebody that's pretty new to the community as far as racing goes.
Yeah, this is like less than a half a level lead here in terms of the experience. Now again, it's going to take him a couple of minutes to go get the keys when he decides he has enough money to go take care of that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, he's actually keeping pace pretty well up on the top race there. Meanwhile, our other race is not off to a great start for one of our runners. Miplet is pretty low on experience, just cannot seem to find the Drakee, I think, is pretty much... I don't know if he's seen it, but he somehow has 2 experience. Oh, there's red slime over here. That's what it is. So he's found the red slime one time, and the red slime has hurt, of course. And I guess never found the Drakee. So pretty unfortunate that it took this long for Miplet. We're at 15 and a half minutes in, and still sitting on level 1. There's an armored knight over here. So I think he found the red slime in a random zone that was mixed in with the armored knight. That's really rough.
Yeah, it's that Armor Knight's been trolling a bunch of these runners here. NESCard got a very nice agility bump there to go with that very nice strength at 5, 17, 4, 9 level up. So that hit points is still, I think, the biggest determining factor on being able to survive going out and around. But otherwise, they're moving along fairly well here.
Yeah, I think NESCard's now in full exploration mode. It's not that he's invincible or anything, but these stats really mean that you've got to get moving. You can run from a lot of the stronger enemies now, and you know, you gotta take your chances. You pick off the enemies you can. Their strength score is actually quite good for this level, so he's able to take on enemies like this Metal Scorpion just no problem. And yeah, it's time to move on. And especially, I always feel like when there's money in the treasury, it's a little bit of an emergency. Like if you find a town and you can pick up a broadsword or something like that, it just moves you forward so much more quickly.
Agreed, and we had Dabbit out and about on the overworld here as well, and finds a metal slime that seems to be wanting to stick around. Not quite the full 255, I think they're 224 at level 7, but we'll see if he can take this out.
Yeah, and poor Miplet, who somehow still hasn't seen the Drakee, is just still hunting for one more red slime to get him out of jail here, and it's mixed in with really strong monsters, so just a little bit of poor encounter luck not finding the red slime here. And also just not seeing the Drakee in his, he has to pass right through the Drakee zone to get up to where the red slime is, and
the slime goes down to 224 on Dabbit's side, so going to propel him straight to level 8.
Oh wow, yeah, that's huge, and a lot of big stack gains there on with the multiple level jumps. So looking at 75 strength, we have huge agility for Silly Dabbit now, so really full exploration mode is in effect here. Not sure if he's trying to take a death warp in the swamp. I think he's totally out of resources, so just seeing as far as he can, and we're going to be heading back. No, he's going to use an herb and actually try and make it through here. See if, maybe there's a town right on the other side. Nope, we're going to get put to sleep by the knight, though. Yeah, that's actually a fairly unlucky run block. You know that the knight is a fairly strong monster, but 75 agility should be no problem to get away from that knight. So that was pretty unfortunate for Silly Dabbit. But now he gets a refill. He's got a lot of MP to work with, so he has heal and heal more. He's got pretty good HP now compared to what they just had. And he still has enough, even after sacrificing half the gold, to go ahead and buy at least a few more keys over here.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get that exploration that NESCard already did earlier. He's going to get these keys. He's going to pick up his stones out of the treasury there and check out this torch down in Tablet Cave.
Yep. Yeah, he could have gone back and forth, raided the treasury for the gold, and really topped off on keys. That also provides a torch for getting through here, but we have the Radiant spell. We also have Outside, so yeah, this is going to be a quick check for Silly Dabbit. Takes, 25 to 30 seconds, and meanwhile, NESCard's going to use that time to try and catch up on the experience here, while Silly Dabbit, catches up on the exploration that NESCard already did.
Absolutely. So question in chat is, did Miplet start at the same time or late start? He did start at the same time. Unfortunately, the runners had a very rough level 1 with very few enemies they can kill. And Miplet's just had the bad luck of not being able to find the enemy he needs. He's found a red slime in this disgusting zone up here that is killable, but still needs one more. If he was to go just south of there, there is a Drakee that is also killable. He is just not lucked into seeing one.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. I mean, this bottom race, it would be pretty hard for him to catch up now. There are ways that could happen, but you're talking about almost 20 minutes here, stuck on level 1. It's a nightmare scenario. This could happen to any runner at any time with some of these kind of starts. But yeah, when it happens in a race like this, when his opponent has been off the ground for 17 or 18 minutes, it feels pretty bad.
He's got the red slime. Let's see if he can survive long enough to take it out, because it does have that hurt spell. And oh, that's terrible.
That is disgusting right there. Ooh. Yeah, you spawn with 20 hit points. It's a fairly low HP start. I think that might even be the minimum in the current version of the randomizer, right? It used to be that you could start with like 10 HP, but that was pretty bad. But this is low, and then you have to walk through a few swamp tiles to get to that zone. So then combine that with the fact that the monster has the hurt spell, and it's not a guaranteed victory, apparently.
Yeah, buddy. So, on the other runner screens, we have Dabbit pushing out again.
Oh my gosh, he just found the Drakee. He's like walking through to try to get to the red slime zone. He just finds the Drakee. So now he must be like, oh no, there's a Drakee here. That's bad.
I guess the one good piece of news here for Miplet and his ability to catch up is there are some decent zones around depending on what he does. He gets the crit, takes him out, so he's out of jail finally. But the runners have literally found nothing outside a tablet in the basement and getting their keys. There's still no exploration that's been found.
That's actually amazing that you mentioned that. Like, NESCardinality has been walking like for ages. This skeleton is pretty dangerous, by the way, but he decides he's strong enough to one-shot it, so just goes ahead and takes it out. Feels like that's a higher percentage play than, the occasional run fail that might happen with 75 agility. And does get away from the Axe Knight, no problem. So you can see that this high agility is going to allow them to, stay out of trouble. And then finally we have a cave on his side. And everybody else is just looking at empty space, like you said.
We see things! There's a cave! I'm so excited. We'll see if he can get there. Agility's in a really good spot, but that baby breath from the Rogue Scorpion's not ideal.
Yeah, Rogue Scorpions have very high agility, so they could ambush you a little bit more often than a lot of other monsters, which is exactly what happened here. And he wants to kind of... I guess... Is he fighting this? Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was a pretty unfortunate encounter for NESCardinality. I missed exactly what the tactics were, if he was trying to run or if he was trying to fight, but he was just a couple of steps away from seeing a cave. And, that could always lead to something really important. And it wasn't very close to home either, so... Rough luck there for NESCard, and see where he goes this time.
Yeah, he did initially do a heal more, then tried to run, opted to try and run on what was mostly a safe-ish attempt, but got a high baby breath that didn't let him get out of it.
Alright, was blocked in front, apparently, and sent back to the castle. I'm sure he is not very pleased with that outcome, but his opponent... has not found anything either. sillydabbit does have really good experience thanks to that metal slime victory along the way. So that is actually shaping up to be quite a good race. sillydabbit has at least some keys to work with, and there's nothing else that either runner has done. Here's that same cave now. sillydabbit has it on his screen. So that's a pretty even race right now up top. Oh, it's actually Swamp Cave. I don't know if we are going to go for the spike check yet. It's a little bit questionable if you could defeat anything, mostly because of the HP. They are pretty strong, and they have heal more. So if they had a little bit more HP, you might want to check that out. But right now, he's going to just walk through, see if it backs into anything important.
Yeah, finding things right now is key. Like, if this is back to Garenham with a few items available, or... well, no Garenham, but more overworld with less swamp.
Alright, so locations number 3 and 4 on the map are in the books. We have 16 locations overall, of course. There's 8 towns and castles, and there's 8 caves, 2 of which are in basements of towns. We need to explore those areas to find the 3 quest items, and you trade them in with a couple of old men NPCs to get access to the final castle. They also need to simultaneously gain a whole bunch of experience, because there's no other way to defeat the final boss other than to be really strong.
Absolutely, yeah, you can't nail it any better than that. Be pretty strong, have some hit points and some magic. But Dabbit finds out the fun news about the sleep on the knights and get sit packing before he can really do any exploration on the other side of the swamp. So we'll see where he opts to go this time. Looks like NESCard has made it through Swamp Cave here and is walking around.
Yeah, this is a very similar exploration between the two. I think they've covered the same map, but NESCard gets away from the red dragon, so a little bit of good fortune there. Slight underdog to run on each turn, and he could have gotten one shot. They have very low defense right now. Of course, they haven't had opportunity to find or purchase any gear. So red dragons could hit you upwards of 50 damage on any attack, but we'll have to wait for the next one. Let's see how the luck fares. He does the smart thing of topping off his HP after taking a little bit of damage, because you don't want to enter a fight like that and get ambushed and one shot. Here comes another one. Gets away again.
Well, fantastic run luck on these red dragons leads into at least locating where Sharlock is. We see Dabbit not having quite the same run luck on that red dragon. The red dragon has hurt, though.
And location number 6 is another dark cave. I think it's going to be Mountain Cave. He bonked up and down. We've already seen Tablet. There's some nice monsters in here. Joel Magi could be a sweet spot, except it has an ability, and it's the big one.
Oh, that's painful. You made it all the way there, ran through 2 red dragons to get away as an underdog, to get into Mountain and get shot down before finding anything. Feels really bad.
It's interesting, the second continent seems fairly significant this time. Sometimes you get like the small continent that just doesn't have anything, but that seemed to open up quite a bit in every direction beyond Sharlock. So, I couldn't tell if they basically finished off the first continent when they get over to Swamp Cave over in the southeast, or if there's a little more on this side that still needs to be checked out. But NESCard seems to be continuing to cross this bridge and head east each time out of the castle, so maybe there's really only one way to go.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been further exploration east, further into some swamp over here by the Swamp Cave, or south past the Swamp Cave, but regardless, I think they are being funneled this direction. Looks like Dabbit's going to go ahead and grind up to level 9, which I don't think is a bad suggestion here, knowing what he's been running into.
Yeah, mostly you're just really hoping for more HP. I mean, if you get hurt more, it's a nice bonus as well, even though the enemy set hasn't been really that hurt more friendly, with the various red dragons and such that they're running into. But and yet another death for NESCardinality. We are running with the death counters on, so you'll see when he opens his status screen there, he's got 8 deaths already. We're 27 minutes in. He also had several resets in the beginning, so not really that easy of a start to this one, despite the fact that there were some decent level ups in the beginning.
Exactly. So we should see level 9 here in a moment with Dabbit. He's got to get 1, maybe 2 kills, and then we'll see what happens there. We have Miplet getting to level 5, finally getting a little play going, while SassageLink is up to level 8, and Short just found his Swamp Cave. We'll see how he fares going through.
Yep. Sassage also making the play to not bother checking the spike tile yet, wants to poke all the way through and see what's on the other side. And he is just going east, so everybody else went to the west first, and he's just going south and east first. So, I don't know how people make that decision. I always wonder about that. It's just pure exploration luck in terms of, like, what are you feeling in the moment? Which direction do you want to travel? And he, did he actually have the fairy flute? Where was that, in the throne room?
Yeah, fairy flute was actually middle chest in the treasury.
Oh, treasury. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, he used that to get away from the golem. Oh, the red dragon has hurt. So Sassage has a little bit of intel here. That might be a low percentage hurt, because we haven't seen that yet on anybody else's screen. But hey, always good to make note of a nerfed Sharlock monster. Could factor into your calculations for the endgame.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I saw it once on Dabbit's screen before he got obliterated by 1. But Dabbit picked up a ton of MP on that last level. Not bad on the other stats. 8, 9, 5, 27 for level 9 with the stop spell coming along as well.
So chat's saying that somebody saw it 3 times in a row in one encounter, which leads us to believe maybe that's not a 25% hurt. It could be a little bit higher percentage, and that would bode really well for later.
Yeah, if he could get into one with full HP at 59, I'd be curious if he could get one to land and punch it down at level 9. That would be hilarious.
So Sassage does finally take care of the errand of acquiring more keys and then checking out the... Oh no, I'm sorry. This is actually Mountain Cave that NESCard got sniped before he got to it. Might have the chest here. If he can get away from the Stone Man, they don't have the sleep spell to work with. Oh, he doesn't know about the Joel Magi, but gets away anyways. And just the torch, okay. Maybe he does know about the Joel Magi, because he ran about that without even thinking twice.
Yeah, and otherwise that would be a good fight. So yeah, he must have had the unlucky pleasure of finding that earlier.
Yeah, Wolf's a nice monster right now. Let's see, there's a totally separate zone once you go down the stairway, so we'll have a new enemy set to deal with here. There are 4 more chests down here. It's going to go where the top 2 are first to get multiple checks done. And so, second chest is the Fighter's Ring. And if he puts that on, he'll get a +2 attack power bonus. First belt in the other chest gives us some information for later. And I see Miplet is actually finally going to run the errands of getting more keys. He's finally grinded up enough money to do the thing with the buying 1 key. He's going to have to go get more from the treasury. And I'm not sure. I think there's a torch in the treasury, so if he's not comfortable with the dark nav on the tablet cave, he'll at least be able to use the torch and get that done now.
We have a town. It's our very first town, and it's Hawksness.
Alright, Sassage just nopes out of that. We don't want anything to do with Hawksness just yet, I guess. I still think that you could beat a monster in some cases, but the HP is just, it's pretty gross right now. So, we will leave that for later. Is there a room north of Charlock? No, it looks like the mountain's cut off the pass there. So where do you go from there?
You go nowhere on this continent because we've already seen south and west from the cave, so that is it for Swamp Continent.
Yeah, so somewhere, like you said, beyond the entrance to Swamp Cave, there must be like a little inlet somewhere that kind of just leads you to the rest of the map that they just haven't bothered going through yet.
Yeah, and I agree that with that, maybe you could take a chance at a spike tile. So far, we've seen Stoneman with the hurt spell, and if you have level 9 and stop spell, that might be an option, as well as that Red Dragon, which may have a 50% hurt or even higher, depending on a few more encounters, and we can find out what they have.
Yeah, you would love to have the sleep spell for the possibility of the Stone Man, but they do have the flute, and there could be the golem, and you have heal more, so there are scenarios where you could win a fight there, and if the sword or the armor is just sitting there, it's a pretty big deal. But anyways, at least Sassage has noped out of that for later, and nobody else has found that town yet, so see what the decision is when they get there. Oh, there's a cave way down here on Dabbit's screen that I don't know that we've seen this one yet, have we? Is this the grave? Alright, here we go.
Yep, this is way south of the North Swamp entrance, so he has found some more exploration. This is fantastic.
This top race is actually heating up. I mean, there's not really any exploration lead that I can think of from either runner, and the experience is pretty even. Yeah, a lot is going to depend on who finds really important stuff first. If the sword or the armor happens to be somewhere, Death Necklace happens to be here, that doesn't necessarily propel you forward, but it's one less thing to worry about. And sillydabbit is not casting outside, so he seems to be diving the deep stages of the grave here.
I don't mind this dive either. He's not really found anything. We haven't found any of the towns. That Armor Knight's not going to be a fun thing to get through, though.
Yeah, well, they do have heal more to work with. He chooses not to use it. I mean, I know we don't have that much HP, so sometimes it feels like a waste, but you can fish for a low roll there on the AK to give yourself a little bit better chances. He's about a coin flip to run, though, at any opportunity, so he decided to just go for it, and he lost that coin flip, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're literally like one decent HP level up away from, practically having ghost stats. We're right there on the cusp of this at level 9. It's absolutely insane how good these stats are outside that HP.
Yeah, it is really good, but they haven't been able to buy any gear yet, so they're just running around with just the bare stats that they have, and there are some big monsters out there, so somehow, despite the really rapid leveling, it's not easy to get it through the map here. Not rapid leveling, but I should say, like, the levels themselves have been really generous.
And we have a town on NESCard's side that we know is not going to be Hawksness, so we should have something here momentarily.
Yeah, and if you're NESCard, if you have a choice here, let's say there's nothing good on the spike, do you buy a weapon or do you buy armor here? So there's nothing on the search. That's unfortunate. There is one cursed belt, so we'll get into that in a minute. But what are you buying here? Well, I guess you're getting a little of everything because all this small stuff is here. That's pretty funny. He will make a note that there's a silver shield because there is gold in that treasury. And it won't be long, I think, before he finds Mountain Cave also. And there might be an opportunity to grind up for that silver shield. But yeah, we're going to get the starter set there with... it's not going to help too much compared to the stats that they already have. But hey, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, unless he... Man, that's just a shame to have all of this and you come across like basic beginner gear there, but
yeah, he actually didn't have that much money anyways, so it sort of worked out for him. But you know, you could come back pretty, with more money or whatever. It was just, I don't know, that was pretty crazy.
So we'll see what happens here. He's got another cave just around the corner here. Maybe this has no, it's just a jerk.
Yeah, not the greatest exploration luck so far for NESCardinality. Being the first one to find coal and having there be an empty search spot, that's kind of unfortunate. If it was the sword or the armor, that would have really propelled him forward in his race. Meanwhile, sillydabbit had found the grave that, at least he pulled the necklace out of there. But yeah, that's still a really good race up top. And there's about a 300 experience lead actually for sillydabbit, who's settled into some kind of a desert grind here. Has had enough of dying on the overworld and wants more. More of what? I guess just more of everything.
Yeah, NESCard found the northern edge around the top of Sherlock, which we know is inaccessible from the other side. I think he saw another cave to the west here, which we're running out of locations. What we have just the Stones Cave and the Staff Cave, I believe. So
this particular zone that sillydabbit's mining here, it's a little curious because all I've seen is the metal scorpion and a Drakee and a golem. So... I guess the Wolf Lord would be okay. That was, I don't know, kind of a weird choice for a grind, but this is almost going to be level 10 here. And, he'll get that quickly enough. And, yeah, trying to look around for another Wolf Lord. So, yeah, that's what he was looking for in that grind, I guess. And see what we get here, level 10. Oh, there it is, DK.
There it is.
Our hit points, and he is more or less invincible now. If you had some kind of a weapon, you could even consider fighting the Red Dragon now. So it's interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty big level. I feel like he probably should get off this grind now and get moving, because he's probably not going to die anywhere near as much. You have heal more to work with, so when you get in the danger zones, you can heal all the way up to 87 HP now. NESCard had another Joel Magi go wrong, so just, I don't know. He has had actually quite a few things go wrong so far in this race, and it's still fairly even up top. Whereas, of course, the bottom race is a little bit out of hand because of the really rough start that Miplet had. He's doing his best to catch up just on experience here, but I don't think he's really been anywhere yet.
Yeah, and we have SassageLink found the freebie cave, which had gold in it, and has now come across the town of Garenham.
Yeah, I think double checking to see if he needs to buy more herbs, which he does, and also checking his key situation. There's a door here that you're going to want to go through to get to more chest checks. There's a basement back there. And what do you buy for your sausage? You have tons of strength already. Are you focusing on weapons, or are you looking for armor? Like, if there's a broadsword, do you just take it automatically?
I think I really seriously consider it, but then I go and check the back. Oh, so now you have to choose. Now you have to choose. There's broadsword half-plate, there's hand axe half-plate, or there's broadsword chainmail. And he goes with the latter, which emphasizes attack power, and he's not so concerned about defense. They have a lot of strength already, so I thought that was kind of an interesting decision. He goes with the broadsword and the chainmail. Yeah, he's going for Scorched Earth. Let me just smash my sword and everything. So, of course, that means that Erdrick's sword's going to be in the back here, right?
Oh, it's certainly possible. We have not seen much yet. Let's see. Well, we have more money, so now you can maybe go upgrade to the No armor upgrading happening because you just got Erdrick's armor. Wow.
Nice! Wow, Erdrick's armor. We finally have a real key item to
So
go
the
along with them.
broadsword was the correct choice because the armor was not needed. Oh, and we're gonna get a. It's always good to get this turned in while you're here. Has the silver harp. I forget actually where that was now. Was that also in the treasury? He's got the stone. Sassage has a lot in his inventory here. Where is he finding this stuff?
Good question about the harp. I might have missed that one. Oh, bottom of grave. We missed him doing the deep dive. I did see him get chest 4.
That's actually going to be pretty bad for Silly Dabbit, who might decide not to go back in there. He's already cleared top 3. Sometimes when you get bounced out of the grave, you leave it for last.
And a question in chat, where was the armor? The armor was in the back of Garenham.
Yeah, so Sassage, I saw the Stones of Sunlight in his inventory also, and so he's really moving along in terms of exploration. He's got the armor to work with now as well, so that race, he's got a commanding lead on that race in the bottom.
Exactly, and he's that one level away from that big HP gain that's going to pretty much open him up to taking on everybody. He's at full hit points, completely free and safe from a DL2 breath at least once, so that really helps him out a lot.
He already is now with the armor, so that's good news. Alright, here's that town for Silly Dabbit as well. Is this also Garenham? It's got to get through this Green Dragon encounter.
Now, Garenham was up a north dead end, so this is definitely something different.
This is the one NESCard saw. Yeah, this is going to be Cole. That's right. And decides to swing through the Green Dragon. Must have been counting damage there. Doesn't heal, just goes for the swing. You can always get dodged in that situation, so sometimes you see runners take that risk, and it's, you know, when you get dodged and you're way out there a few steps from a town, and you get bounced because the enemy dodges, it really feels bad. But being pretty aggressive, going after another Green Dragon here, and he is still holding on to the slimmest of experience lead over NESCardinality, who is currently diving Deep Grave.
Yeah, so if NESCard can make it down out of the zone with the Armor Knight, that's huge for him as well, so he should be able to eventually get to his harp and have that little bit of an advantage over Dabbit here. But Dabbit's going to see Cole was not terribly far away and kind of probably be a little scared until he finds out nothing's on the search spot.
I actually kind of like this play of using the flute when you have like low MP. He's really trying hard to not run out of resources on this dive, knowing that there could be something important at the bottom, which of course we know that there is. So if for some reason you get run blocked by a golem and it hits you for like 45 or 50, it's just another heal more that you have to burn. So just taking preemptive measures there. And of course now the Star Wyvern has the sleep spell. So that's not great. Doesn't seem to follow up with anything just yet. And NESCard's going to go after it with stop spell strats. Oh, yeah. He maybe knew that it had hurt more as well, because yeah, that's a rough combo. So nice that he got the spell blocked. Every enemy has some resistance to stop spell, but it can sometimes be 0.
Exactly. So no, yeah, he's been doing really well at hitting stop spell on these enemies that he knows has some type of ability, and then taking them out, because once it lands, these guys are pretty free. He's done this on a few nights now as well. So yeah, that's a nice chunk of experience right there.
Alright, so Silly Dabbit does make his way through that town and is continuing west. Here's that cave. Is this Mountain Cave? Which one was this? I remember now, yeah.
Yeah, he's down this
so he's
a dead end right now.
Seems like he's a little behind NESCard on like he's finding all the same places like 5 minutes later on the exploration. I don't think NESCard ever found what was Silly Dabbit in before? The Mountain Cave. Was NESCard ever in Mountain Cave yet? Did he get bounced out of it right away or something? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he took that DL2 to the face from a Druid Lord there. But we have Sassage coming across Cantlin now. It's going to be able to get a real easy check on coordinates, which at the rate we're finding things, there's a good chance there are something there.
So yeah, on that top race, NESCard clearly has an exploration edge now. He's just been to more places, been further out on the map. That's one of his main strengths, really. It's amazing how efficient he is at covering the map. And so what that means is if you can collect all the items, 5 or 10 minutes before your opponent, you get onto a dedicated grind that much quicker. And even if you're behind on experience, you make it up very quickly at the end. So collecting the items quickly is very important.
Agreed, absolutely, and he is extremely efficient at everything. I think anybody that's familiar with this community is very aware of how well NESCard can navigate, and just be efficient in his overall exploration and grind. So he got that harp. He is looking to get that death warp because he knows all about that silver shield.
Yeah, Miplet still only on level 8, finds a red dragon, and just gets hit for 48 damage. He still has no gear, I'm pretty sure, so... yeah, dealing with a lot of those nasty encounters that some of our other runners have finally started to become immune to those kind of deaths. He's still in a situation where he is getting bounced back to the castle.
Yeah, and 11 came in with 6-2-2-10, but Repel and Hurt More, which Dabbit beat NESCard to just slightly, but they're almost even on experience right now.
Yeah, and typically when you learn Hurt More, you also want to be repelling. So you don't want to... it's nice that they got those spells at the same time. You don't want to be dealing with the very small encounters anymore. You are going to be concentrating on these big encounters, like Silly Dabbit actually not even using Hurt More on this green dragon, so maybe he didn't even notice that he just learned it, or something.
No, it was a low roll. Yeah, it was a low roll on the first one.
Oh, he did use it. Okay. Seemed like he had to attack a couple of times there. Now we go. Yeah, so you want to be repelling and hurt mooring, and just being mindful of your MP usage. He's got a little catching up to do to see all the same things on the map. NESCard, I think, has a gold grind initiated here.
Yeah, exactly. He knows about that silver shield. Unsure about other equipment since he has the baby equipment still, but we'll see what he opts to grind to. At least 14-8. Question in chat: what is in Hawks? No clue. No one's went and checked the spike. I think only 1 or 2 runners have even seen the town yet. Armor was in Garenham. We had some stones back in the treasury. And we got to keep our key at the start. And then we had Heart Deep Grave, which 3 of the runners know about Grave. Only 2 have made it down there.
You know what's interesting? I don't remember NESCard actually finding Hawk's Nest. So I don't know if that was just off screen. Like, it was near one of the other caves that they all found. Because if you're on the top race now, especially NESCard is grinding up this money and he's going to make his way over, at the very least, to get the shield. But probably one of your next stops in this case should be Hawk's Nest, because now you have Hurt More and more HP.
Yeah, it's on the second continent. I know Sassage for sure, and I think maybe Dabbit saw it when he went through as well, or I might be getting them two mixed. I know at least one of the left people see it. I'm almost positive NESCard hasn't gone through Swamp yet.
NESCard seems to actually just be going all the way, and one of the rationales for this is that he knows that they're more or less invincible now because they have all the important spells, and they have high MP to work with, and they have high HP to survive attacks. So the only way that he would really be losing this money is if there's he gets a wombo combo attack, gets put to sleep, and just can't wake up. So, and they have very good agility, so the chances of actually getting ambushed by an enemy like the Droll Magi are low. So you go ahead and you grind up all the money, even though you haven't seen the equipment yet. You assume that you're just not going to die, and you're going to find some towns to be able to spend the money here.
Yeah, agreed. He, especially with the addition of that Hurt More, that's going to like bail you out of any of those tricky situations if you run into like an Armor Knight and stuff of that nature at this point. So, yeah, really heads up. He's going to, if he comes across Garenham, he's not going to, be happy about the armor pickups that he might be able to find first. But I don't know. When I saw Sassage go, he went down a lot of windy paths before he came across all that location. So it might be a minute before they start getting into those areas.
Yeah, you can see on our tracker there the difference in the Sausage versus Miplet situation there. Sausage is full of equipment, Erdrick's armor, he's got the broadsword, multiple quest items, and Miplet's tracker is just about empty. He's, at least a full level behind because he just had a really bad start. So that is going to be a tall order to catch up over there on that side.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Sassage has explored really well. Hasn't quite been able to maintain on experience as our top 2 runners have, but definitely has located a ton more. We'll we'll see if he can get into a grind sooner, and how that, even though they're not racing each other, we have 2 unique races. The top 2, sillydabbit and NESCardinality, are a singular race, and SassageLink and Miplet at the bottom are singular. It's still kind of nice to see how they do against each other.
Always interesting to see when a runner just kind of throws up their hands and like, yep, I just got slept and wrecked again. I think I'm just going to take a break. Just kind of seems like that's what's happening for Miplet here. You never really know. Hopefully the stream's okay, or like, whatever, but we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully he will resume progress. But the top race is really shaping up to be a good one. The experience is very close. Dabbit still has that slim lead again. I think that Dabbit getting sniped before getting to the bottom of the grave is still going to be an issue, but yeah, they've mostly gotten all the same things done. NESCard maybe is going to hopefully buy some gear, and maybe that will help catch up just a little bit on how rapidly he can take down larger monsters, catch up on the experience there. But yeah, really, really good close race happening up there.
Yeah, and we apologize for the technical issues. We're working on getting those other streams working here, but we see NESCard did finally come across the freebie cave, so I know that means he is extremely close to Garanham, which means he's extremely close to that armor.
Yeah, will he walk the correct direction? He will eventually. He does a very good job of actually drawing hand-drawn maps, and he really doesn't walk the same areas twice unless he has to revisit someplace specifically. So if he doesn't go the correct direction the first time, you can bet he'll just, next time he's in this area, he will find it. But the key is that, like we said before, he just isn't really in much danger of, here's an enemy he really doesn't want to see right now. If for some reason that stop spell didn't land, he could get slept and wrecked by this Star Wyvern. So that's like the only scenario where he could actually lose this money.
Exactly. So we got Sassage down here on the bottom left, back in Hawksness, with a golem and the flute. So if there's something in here, we should be able to find out here momentarily.
Man, there's so much empty space on NESCard's screen just all the time in this race. There's that town on the other side of the river here, which, yep, there we go. You got to get all the way down here, across the river. So finally he's going to... Okay, just taking a peek over there.
And this one is Garanham, so...
Yeah.
Or no, this is Breckenary. He found a whole different strip. I think he skipped the north strip that I saw Sassage go up before, so he might have missed like a one-tile opening. I wouldn't say missed. He's
there's so much good stuff in this shop. It's incredible. I think all of the big stuff is in this shop. What an amazing sequence for NESCardinality. Wow.
Yeah, Brecht's trying to redeem itself here. I'm still not a fan.
That's crazy. Not a fan of what? Of the town?
Yeah, Breckenary as a whole.
Yeah. No, it's pretty useful in the vanilla game. But
yeah, fair enough.
That's about it.
I didn't quite get to see what Sassage ultimately found under this golem. I think he's already taken one down. We'll see here in a minute if he searches or not. Nah, he's definitely done searching, so not sure what it was, if anything.
So directly west now we have another town, and it is Cantlin. He originally nopes out, but really because he already has all the gear, but we do have keys, so he is going to go down and get the coordinates now, making sure that he's full up on herbs and such, and yeah, he's got money left over if he wants to go rebuy keys if he's getting low in that department. But yeah, right now we're going to get a coordinate check. Remember, he's already seen the empty spot in coal, so I'm not sure if he actually saw any cursed belts. We know that there is at least one, so probably we are going to get coordinates here. And let's see, it will lead to something useful, right? Because the necklace and the flute are already in play.
Yeah, correct. It's either token or it's our sword at this point.
Yeah, southeast is totally countable. I'm not sure if he'll do it immediately or if he'll try and finish out this little area of the map first. But, that's down and across that bridge where they have to go anyways to get to the second continent. So you can expect that he'll be able to count that out pretty easily. There won't be a princess required, at least for NESCardinality here.
All right, so I went back and checked Sassage's replay, and he found the sword in Hawksness. So we have Erdrick's sword in Hawksness, so Sassage has the sword, so now we know those chords are the tokens. So Sassage is doing some counting right now, is about to be grind and go.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible exploration for SassageLink. I have missed multiple things that he has done. He dove that whole grave, and I missed him getting the harp out of there. He got the harp traded in. He's counting. That's incredible. Yeah, good job by Sassage. Grind and go. And you know that the swamp cave is right next door. Now I don't know if we know what's there yet, but that's the spike tile right over there that he might just be sitting there for the next, near future here.
Exactly. So David's gonna find out about this this golem. Know that he can take it down. He does. It's not tracked, but he has the stones and the fairy flute because those were in the treasury. But he should be able to get his sword momentarily.
It's funny, we may not even need to do a lot of grinding. Like, I feel like we might have a level 12 go here. Well, somebody's already at level 12, maybe level 13. Like, we're close.
Yeah, we are.
A few more HP.
Agreed. And here comes NESCard getting his armor. He'll get the other junk items, but have more knowledge at this point. And yeah, he's down to just Hawksness and chords at this point from an exploration standpoint. So he's just gotta go figure out where those chords are and where Hawksness is.
Yeah, I wish I could remember when people were finding Hawksness that other time, because it seemed like he may have just walked kind of where it was just off screen, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's like east and south. It's in that dead end past Sharlock after you go through the swamp cave. I just don't think he's ever gone all the way through swamp yet.
Well, he's actually seen most other locations, so I think he would be hoping to find Hawksness soon. But there's also, I guess, Rimbledar is out there. Has that been found? What else hasn't been found? I think he's seen almost everything now.
Yeah, I don't have any note on Rim, so if someone saw it, I've definitely missed it. But that would be the only other outstanding location.
Yeah, he had seen the Rainbow Drop in his travels, the Rainbow Drop Cave. So he'll know where to go when that happens. Sharlock, of course, has been found. So, Sausage, right. What's he doing? What's happening next here?
Well, maybe a little top off. He's, Oh, he hadn't seen Cole yet. Not sure what he's expecting to find here.
Yeah, maybe he hadn't, No, he got the necklace out of the grave. He had to have. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sometimes you get here, it's just a habit. You have to go check the spot regardless.
Alright, so Sausage could go back to the Hawksness spot if he thinks that's a really good grind. Or, there's always the swamp. He's probably just heading back to the Rainbow Drop Cave, which is right here. There we go. And then he will be officially ready to get the experience. He's also on level 12 now. Level 12 has 94 strength for strength HP. It has... Oh, I'm sorry. Level 13 on Silly Dabbit's screen. It looks like go time, actually. You're up into triple digits for HP. 94 strength. You have enough MP. 13's enough. Go time. Gotta hurry up and get the stuff.
Yeah, he's
go beat the Dragon Lord.
Got a lot to do still, too, unfortunately, with having to redive Grave. And that's probably going to be last on his list, to be quite honest, just because you don't want to do it.
This kind of seed, I think, just favors NESCardinality. Like, he covers the map so quickly that he doesn't often get into that situation where he over-levels. And, before even acquiring all the items. That's always the worst thing. Like, maybe you did a couple of grinds along the way to get out of, jail or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, now it's go time and I don't have everything. So it becomes inefficient. But NESCard is likely to, get to those last couple of locations right around the time he hits 13. And 13 is a go.
Exactly. So we got NESCard on the other side. He should come across those last locations here momentarily. He knows where Mountain is, whether he opts to go back through it first or go past it trying to find Hawks, because he knows it has to be over here. He's full cleared the first continent. While that's happening, Dabbit has found the location of all the other places, so he's going to see Breck, Garenham, Cantlin, get those cords, get that armor, and just be a little bit of extra exploration behind. But I don't think it's going to take that long for NESCard to pass him on experience here.
There was some discussion about the various DP levels we see on the trackers for the different runners because of the difference in gear, but NESCard actually has 94 defense right now, only on level 12, so he's actually not even seeing Axe Knights. He's just running across the world, like, just not seeing anything, which is nice when you're actually looking for the last couple of locations.
Exactly. So he is going to go ahead and opt to clear out this mountain cave. For his trouble, he will get a fighter's ring, so he'll get a +2 to his attack power here momentarily. But outside of that, just a big nothing burger.
Fighter's ring will give him the +2, which is useful, but not too exciting. And Sausage has decided on a blue dragon guy, and maybe you've already just mentioned this, but yeah, went with the Swamp Cave Spike instead of the Hawksnest Spike. I missed completely what was the Hawksnest Guardian. Was it a Stone Man, or?
It was a Golem.
Yeah. Oh, it was a Golem. Oh, interesting that he's picking the blue dragon. Maybe Hawksnest was just too far away from everything.
Yeah, there was no other towns on the other side. It was through Swamp, so you would have to go back through Swamp, and I think Cole might have been the closest town to it.
Yeah, doesn't matter much in this case because it's just a few quick victories and it's just going to be go time right now. So we're going to have Sausage probably look at the stats and he's just going to be out of here. It's 1 hour in. It's time to go beat the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, should be interesting. Every once in a while, though, you see somebody that just doesn't quite feel comfortable with that, that level. They want that extra, that extra heal more, or just that little bit extra on the defense or something of that nature. So we'll see what he opts to do, but I agree with you. I think 13 is clearly go.
Alright, so this battle for NESCard should lead to the sword if all goes well. And I guess he still hasn't actually tracked down those coordinates. He's been running around trying to preserve his exploration instead of going back home just yet.
Yeah, so he's got just a little bit of cleanup, but still way less than Dabbit has, let alone with that redive of Deep Grave here for Dabbit and a few. But Sassage has agreed with us. 13 is definitely go for him. He's going to go do his top off thing, and we'll get our first look at Sharlock and see how it looks.
Yeah, it's very interesting how this shaped up, and this whole race was, from all four runners, is a question of exploration, because we saw how well sillydabbit did with gaining the experience points. Like, he's quite a bit ahead of NESCard still on experience, but just getting those items, like where, the fact that he got sniped in the grave, just all the things that can happen, and NESCard didn't have great luck in terms of the order in which he found everything, but he did find everything pretty quickly. And Sausage had great luck just in both counts. He found things in the right order and did it quickly. So that's why Sausage is the first to take a stab into Sharlock, even though everybody got the experience kind of, at the same rate.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, Dabbit, after he got all the way over here, Garenham was up a one-tile opening going north just back past Cantlin. So hopefully he realized that there was an option to go up there, or otherwise he's going to be missing out on some armor for a while.
Here is the status check for NESCard, and I think he knows it's go time. So, oh boy, let me hope that the thing I need is on these coordinates, because he's going to start to count. I think that's the play. You don't want to look around. Let's say, I'm not sure that he ever saw the town of Rimildar or whatever. There's a chest there, But you know that the coordinates have to lead to something. So I don't know if he has the flute and the necklace, but if he does, then he would know that this has to be what he needs, because it has to be one of the main items.
Yeah, Ness has seen everything, including Rim, which just had a dragon scale in it, so he has full knowledge at this point.
Yeah, so any other checks can be skipped, because he got the coordinates, so he knows that something's there, and that it has to be the last thing that he needs. So he'll have to run around and do the trade-in. I think that there was up on the north side of the second continent to get the rainbow drop. And, he's going to try not to really take any more fights, because it's go time. There's the token. Really good job counting that out from NESCard. And, yep, just get the homework done. While Sassage is in Sharlock, running from everything, of course. Going to rely on that really nice agility. And in Sassage's case, he doesn't have as much defense as NESCard because he settled for the large shield. Never actually did a gold grind because he started out with getting the armor so quickly out of Garanham. So by the time he was ready for a gold grind, it wasn't necessary. Because of that, though, he's running into all these Star Wyvern, which have Baby Wombo and Green Dragons. These are all things that NESCard won't even see on his run through Sherlock because of the defense.
Yeah, and that was nasty sleep there. It took him down into the 30s. Unfortunately, Dabbit, I didn't even give this a thought. With the harp exchange for the staff in the back of Garanham, he did pick up his armor, but since he does not have the harp from Deep Grave, he's going to have to get that first, then come all the way back here to do that exchange. So that's just an extra added layer of time waste for him.
Yep. Just exploration luck. Whenever one runner is able to trade in the harp on the first visit to that cave and the other doesn't, that's a pretty big routing. Usually it's just a luck thing, and yeah, it's going to cost him an extra couple minutes running back and forth there. And we haven't mentioned much that's happened on Miplet screen because of the 20 minutes that it took him to get to level 2, but you know, he is now on level 10. He's starting to find some towns, you know, upgrading gear. Just everything is just 10-15 minutes behind the other runners just because of how things started. But, you know, making really nice progress since then.
Yeah, NESCard just taking, you know, random fights along the way here. He's super close to 14, so as long as 14 isn't just a troll with a bunch of MP, which he probably won't be worrying about here after topping off in coal, it might just give him some ancillary stats to just further make it a nice fight for him.
So Sassage is currently asleep again. Alright, wakes up and does get away this time. So some of that is kind of unfortunate. And he is no longer repelling either because he's seeing wizards too. So not bothering to repel. I guess he's probably not quite repelling the Star Wyvern. And now he's getting red dragons. Still holding on to the 91 MP though. It's just been a little shaky so far on this dive. Not using the herbs really either. Like, he's walking around with 50 HP. If you run into another Star Wyvern, that could be the end of that. And here's the Star Wyvern, but gets away first try. So, gets away with it. Heal walking his way back to full here.
Yeah, he's hoping to not see that Star Wyvern in Zone 3 because that thing's been super trolly to him in the first two zones. Although this Armor Knight's not something you want to see much of either right now.
So that's 3 run blocks in a row. So these are all basically coin flips, or you're even a slight favorite here, I think, with the current stats. And he is going to have to burn one here, but no, he chooses to just absolutely take the huge risk. Runs with, you know, less than 20 HP and actually gets away. And only uses 1 herb. When I watch these races, it makes me nervous every time I see people trying to, you know, heal walk their way from very low HP. Like, when there are actually dangerous monsters in the zone. He sees Star Wyvern here and Armored Knights, and somehow he just isn't at full HP. I don't know.
Exactly. This is, yeah, you're not taking those herbs with you, man. You're not taking them with you. Use the
herbs, yeah, that's right.
In the meantime, we did have NESCard pick up a fantastic level 14, 0110.
Yeah, that's not going to be very helpful, but fortunately level 13 was go time anyways. We're looking at 136 attack power for Sassage. He has the sword and the ring. So that we're looking at 9 to 18 damage for that.
Too late for Sassage, so slept and wrecked.
Yeah.
Because he didn't heal up.
Didn't heal up. So,
yeah, that's a shame. So maybe he'll realize that, because those guys are in every single zone. I think that he needs to realize and keep that up, or just get luckier.
And I don't know if I've ever seen a seed where the silver shield is so much more useful than, like, because if he had the silver shield, he would not even see those things in there.
Yeah, agreed. And one of our esteemed runners in chat pointed that out a little while earlier. There was some debate about silver shield and high agility seeds, and they stated that they felt this is actually when it's more beneficial because you can repel so much of Sherlock enemies at this point. So, and I can't say I disagree. It would make this a whole night and day difference in a dive for him.
Yeah, Sassage, I mean, so we were just starting to get into the numbers. It's not like that much of a slam dunk, so you could see that he kept trying to run even though, like, he didn't want to burn any heal mores. If you look at it, a chart that a lot of people use. You could probably get away with burning maybe 1 heal more, but that assumes that you get through the mini boss okay, assumes Dragon Lord's first form goes okay, you know, all that kind of stuff. So really, because the HP is so low that there's not really any wiggle room in the fight. So, you know, you're looking at 11 heal mores to work with there. So if you can be standing in front of the Dragon Lord and still have 11 heal mores, like, you're in pretty good shape. But it's not like a super free situation. That's why he was taking so many risks on that dive.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll see how this one goes. He did seem to have an inordinate amount of Star Wyvern encounters, to be quite honest, and it seemed like they were in all 3 zones. So maybe a little smoother this time around. But we do have Nescard over here doing his dive now. So we'll see if this goes a little better for him, and if he has enough fairy waters to keep Repel up, or choose.
Yeah, I think he's all the way into the 2nd zone already. He's breezing through Sherlock because he's not seeing very many monsters with the Repel. Decides, looks like, to fight through the Red Dragon, who has hurt, which Red Dragon used it a few times there, so he didn't even have to heal up after. And yeah, almost into the 3rd zone already. Oh wait, we're not repelling anymore. I think that might have just been an oversight. I would think that you'd want to repel.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have fairy waters and doesn't want to give up the extra MP at this point. I can kind of get it, and the towns with the fairy waters were well out of the way.
You see this guy here, though.
Yeah, got lucky with just the physical, but he's in the zone 3. We know they're down here as well, though. We'll see how trolly they get.
Yeah, I mean, it is useful to have a little bit of extra MP for the mini boss fight. If it's a Stone Man specifically, you can use Sleep on it 1 time. Yeah, it gives you a regular heal that you can use, you know, in the Dragon Lord's first form or something like that. So, yeah, he does want to hang on to the MP here, but I don't know. First of all, if you repel, you can just... It's faster, too, if you're not seeing all those small enemies, not to mention, you know, safety. So, interesting decision there for Nescard. Hangs on to the extra MP, and we're almost there. Just got to swing around the corner here, go through some rough terrain, and approaching the mini-boss.
Yep, while he's doing that, Dabbit's completing his homework over here, counting out his token right now. So, maybe a dive and change behind, depending on how long this takes.
Alright, not sure if he's actually on the spike tile here, or if he was just short. No, he was just short there, and not even healing up before walking onto the spike, interestingly. And so enters the Blue Dragon encounter with only about 80 hit points, but fortunately this is not one of the dangerous enemies in this seed. And just goes for the 3-shot, probably use 2 herbs. Or, well, you save that regular heal for this purpose, and... Alright, so he's going to use the herbs probably to try really hard to force a opening double attack here, because like we said before, there isn't that much extra room with the Dragon Lord math.
Yeah, he got the herbs down here with all 11 heal mores. I think it's a smart play to go ahead and do it. Definitely going to kill this Dragon Lord on the next swing, so he's got some wiggle room here. 5 potential.
Notice that he did get a physical from the Dragon Lord, and he is defense breaking the Dragon Lord's first form, something that Sassage doesn't have because of the shield situation. So that gave him 1 turn there, where he was able to move forward through that. You know, he got another swing there. I think he took like 4 damage on the physical, so he did manage to get it done with the herbs. Oh boy, and we're at 47. It doesn't go for it there because we do have a little bit extra. I mean, we are a favorite here. You gotta watch out for any crazy double heal situations in a fight like this because the HP is really low.
Yeah, kind of rolling a little low out of the gate here, but we'll see if that average comes back around.
And Sausage is actually approaching the mini-boss, so even though he was not repelling too many monsters, he made fairly quick work of Sherlock on this dive. And he's got 89 MP to work with, so basically the same number of heal mores as NESCardinality, even though we're 1 level behind. Remember that there wasn't much on that level up, and he is getting slept and hurt more by another Star Wyvern. And now he's using the herbs a little more judiciously. He's down to 3 herbs, trying to heal walk the rest here. NESCard is about halfway through this fight, trying to roll a little bit better. I think we're still looking at something like 9 to 18 for the range here, if I remember their attack power. So we don't want to see too many 9s. 17 there was a good roll, so I think NESCard's in really good shape here. Just eyeballing it.
Yeah, according to chat, we'd be at 135 right now. So looking,
3 swings to go. Yeah, the only thing that could go wrong there was a bad heal more, but he wasn't even in a situation where that would have mattered, and he is all set here. Gets it with a turn to spare. NESCardinality is your winner in the top race. He's going to move on to 4-1 in the, I want to say it's the slime group, and that does officially eliminate sillydabbit from the playoff contention. GG's out. NESCardinality your winner.
Yep, absolutely, and it makes that that final seeding and jockeying for position in the slime group very interesting. There's going to be some really good action in that group as that final races get wrapped up through the rest of this week into the weekend.
All right, and while I was watching that, I missed how Sausage's DL1/DL2, if he got the opening double or not, but going to assume that things are going about the same on his side as they did for NESCard. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Exactly. So, yeah, unfortunate for Miplet. Just had a terrible start. Couldn't quite get off the ground on that bottom race. Did a decent amount of catching up as best as he could, but between just how efficient Sassage was and Miplet being so far behind, didn't really work out. But welcome to the booth, NESCardinality. GG. How do you feel about that race?
Thank you so much. A lot of my races are starting out very similarly. I was starting to think that I had forgotten that I got the sword, because in all my other races I got the sword and we had these long gaps to the first town. Cole was the first town I found again. There was nothing on the search spot again. All my races are starting the same, except this time I also didn't have the sword. But other than that, yeah, I was very worried about the opening, taking a few deaths, but I found the Miracle Drakee in Zone 2 and I stuck with it. That was the gatekeeper to getting out, and I kept reminding myself that was an extremely strong start, like above average, and it should provide a lot of compensation in the event that I was more gate-kept than my opponent. So overall, I was feeling confident, and I guess, making it all the way to Breckenary and Cantlin after the gold grind, getting everything all at once, that felt really good.
Yeah, well said. That's a good summary. I think it's funny how you mentioned about whether you had the sword or not, because you did get a lot of strength in the first several level ups. So you were running around with like 75 strength and level 7 or 8. So probably felt like your other seeds where you had the sword and you were wandering the map.
Very true. Yeah, we got it strong very early, and then I started to think, oh man, I found one town and a couple caves, like, I have to get out there, but I kept being compelled to grind a bit because I kept getting gate kept. And
yeah, on the note of the early grind, it was interesting that you found a zone that wasn't really one of our primary zones because it had a Spectre in it. So you kept going back, and you actually did find the Spectre several times. So that was kind of unusual, but it worked out really well for you.
Yeah, didn't see any other option after a few deaths. And I was thankful after I saw how many Drakees and Magic Drakees there were that I got a few Spectres in a row to get that next level. That was a huge boost.
Well, let me interrupt real fast and tell chat to get your GGs out for Sassage Link in the bottom race. It's going to come in at a time of 1 hour 17:41 after having to do that double dive. Like we said before at the beginning, wasn't for any positioning in brackets, but it was for pride. So GG to him. Looks like Miplet's going to keep on going though. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, someone in my chat was mentioning that I made a comeback, and I wasn't sure what they meant, but yeah, if I was behind Sassage, that makes sense. And Charlotte was something to be worried about. There were Armored Knights, there were Red Dragons, and I rolled below average, and the Dragon Lord went first. So I lost one attack from Dragon Lord going first and another from low rolls, which meant I literally had to, come into it with high HP, which is exactly why I used my herbs. I didn't get cocky about it. I stayed safe, and it a very good thing that I did.
Yeah, of course you weren't racing against Sassage directly, but it just so happens that Sassage just had really good exploration. So had the quest items before we could even realize what was going on, and he never did a gold grind because he happened to find the sword and the armor, in his travels a bit differently than you did. I think the order in which you found things kind of didn't work out quite as well as it did for Sassage, but it was interesting to see the difference in your race with Silly Dabbit, who actually was doing quite well with experience. He got sniped out of the top of the grave, so didn't end up getting the quest item that was at the bottom like you did. So then there was a lot of extra just running around, like didn't have the trade in when it was time to, when he found the staff trading cave. So a lot of that stuff kind of unraveled, and you did a great job with your exploration as always. And you knew exactly what you needed. You had to go get to Hawksness, and then once that was done, you knew that the coordinates had to lead to the last item because, you had everything else.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I hope everyone's enjoying all these very challenging maps where everything is very far away from home and very spread out. You can see, well, I mean, can't see on my map yet, but I'll put it up on my stream. We had a lot of really long paths. Cole and the Rainbow Drop Cave was the first thing I found that was all very isolated from everything. The next closest town was very far away. And of course, the coordinates, the furthest thing on the entire map, and they were necessary. So, efficiency was important, and a lot of longevity was important. Thankfully, same as last night, literally, again, once I got past the gatekeeping phase, I stayed alive very well and made the most of it.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the gatekeeping. I guess just one more question about that, if you want to expand on that. It's like, because a lot of us have kind of a general idea of when we should leave the nest and go out and starting to explore the map, but and this one was a little tricky because you got all these stats rolling in, but you were still dying because it was just the nature of which zones you had to walk through and what the enemies were out there. You had the Droll Magi got you guys a few times with the abilities, and then there were the Star Wyvern, and I saw you getting aggressive with some stop spell strats against Star Wyvern eventually when the time was right. And so how do you balance, because it really feels like, all right, we got to get going, but then even though you have the stats, it's some seeds just are not very kind.
That's a great question. There's a lot of discipline involved in finding the balance between getting out there and doing the exploration you need and realizing that you're not going to survive for very long, and you probably could benefit way more greatly from another level than from getting out immediately. So I try to really think about the zones that I've found and the potential benefit of the enemies that I could grind against, and especially the tile sets I find them on, versus what I really need to get out there and see. And in this seed, there were those phases where first I had to sit and do the specters, and then after that, I really felt like I found the right moment. It was right after I cleared the grave and I did the gold grind. And I said to myself, "This is the time." You might notice I didn't save after the gold grind. People always scream at me in chat like, "Why aren't you saving?" And in general, the answer is exactly the same as what I would have said in this seed if I were reading chat, which was that there is in no universe would I ever press reset if something sniped me and I death warped. Like, that just wouldn't happen. I still would have silver shield money. Bottom line was we had to get out there and beat whatever enemies I could get. And as soon as I beat one armored knight, I'm not resetting. That was like, I don't know. It was like 15% of all the experience I had gained already. Like, it was too big a deal.
I knew you had. By the time you did that gold grind, you were almost invincible anyways. You had the high HP with the heal more, and you would have had to get an unlucky wombo combo for to lose the money, I guess. So a reasonable risk, I suppose. We do have a couple of others. I guess your opponent, Silly Dabbit, who ran a really good race, is in here. How you doing?
GG, everybody. Thank you. GG NESCard.
GG.
Yeah, I felt really behind from the start. It was kind of tough to get going in that one. I wanted to save my key. And I saw Drakees, which I knew I could handle, but I had a very tough time actually finding them. So I felt a little behind from the start. I'm not sure if everybody had that problem.
Yeah, I think in situations like that, everybody kind of feels like it didn't go quite right. But yeah, you weren't as behind as you think in terms of just getting to level 2. Miplet on the other race, it took him about 20 minutes because he never saw the Drakee and he kept going up into a random zone because there was a red slime there. And the red slime had hurt, and there were also like armored knights and knights and things in that zone. So um, if you never saw the Drakee and you were trying to go into that zone, then you would have probably felt a lot worse.
Yeah, that was quite a map. I heard NESCard talking about it earlier. Yeah, Cole was also the first town that I found, but I think I want to say I found Swamp and Grave before I actually found the town.
Yeah, I think when you watch it back, you'll be pleased. I feel like the first half of the race, 30, 40 minutes, it was pretty even. Like you guys had found slightly different things, but most of the map was empty at that point, and you were, I think, keeping pace very well. You had a small experience lead going. You got I think around level 7, you got a metal slime that took you into a fairly important HP gain. So you're actually doing quite well, but then it seemed like a couple of minor things went wrong. Like when you got sniped out of the grave before going, diving because there was a quest item down there, that really threw off your whole, how quickly you were rounding everything up, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I figured I was there. I hadn't seen a whole lot. I wanted to try to dive the grave just in case something was down there. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. I will say this real quick. I do feel like I had a zillion crits, and I guess that's the one sad thing. I wish I would have finished the seed just to see how many critical hits I actually had throughout that seed, because it seemed like a bonkers amount.
I do like that feature. It's fun to see some of the amusing stats at the end. I'm sure NESCard's bonk stats are really low compared to mine, for example. So it's like, okay.
I think towards the end too, I was debating whether I was on the go level or not, and that's kind of around the time when I saw that NESCard had finished up. That probably was the go level though, as I was trying to grind up.
You got an extra level NESCard. I guess you could talk through to us about that, and it really didn't yield very much.
Yeah, what I was saying before about basically exactly what happened. I got back attacked and rolled below average, and I think I rolled like 157, and it was enough. But if it hadn't been enough, I would have won on my very last attack. So there was a risk still of not winning. And so I realized, this was one of the closest possible levels, and I ran into a red dragon on the way to the rainbow drop. And I said, okay, we're just going to take it because the boost, it could increase our safety so much, and it costs us so little time. And I anticipated maybe fighting like some wizards on the way down in Sharlock, that kind of thing. It was just a very small amount of time to invest versus, the potential reward in safety is just immeasurable in a situation like that. So yeah, absolutely, I wanted to take the level. Unfortunately, it was only 1 agility, 1 HP, so it didn't do much.
Yeah, that was an ultimate troll there. It was interesting. Sassage has been here the whole time. GG on your victory in the which group are you guys in? I keep forgetting now.
Thank you. We're in the Drakee group.
The Drakee group, yes. The Drakee group, I think, is fully resolved now. I think everybody's done with their races. GG on your victory tonight.
Thank you.
You, out of the 4 runners, it seemed like you had the best exploration, just the way that you happened to travel. You rounded stuff up so quickly.
Yeah, I actually felt like I was way behind with the way I was finding everything too. I heard NESCard
that's funny.
talking. Yeah, I heard NESCard talking about finding coal in the jerk cave right off the bat. I didn't find those until about an hour in, and I already had every single item. I just figured I'd check the search spot in coal too.
Yeah, and it seemed like you were, I guess the only setback I even really noticed on your screen, it was in Sharlock when you just had one too many Star Wyvern. One major difference between you and NESCardinality was that you just never took the opportunity to get a silver shield because things were going so quickly for you. So you had to deal with all those Star Wyvern encounters, whereas if you could repel them, it might have made things easier. But yeah, because of that, you ended up getting slept and wrecked, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I always figured, 88 agility, I'll be fine running from them, I'll be fine. And I think every single one on that first dive slept me. And, it was 2, 3, 4 rounds every time, too.
Yeah, but things you had such a big margin of error. Miplet had just a horrendous start. I'm not sure if you caught the beginning of the conversation. It took him about 20 minutes to get off level 1. So,
Oof, no,
you know,
that's rough.
Did anyone ever find Remolder?
No.
I don't think we saw it on our side either.
NESCard did see it with the Dragon Scale.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, that's why I got a dragon scale.
That made me feel a little bit better about keeping the key at the start instead of going for the torches.
I feel like, I felt like keeping the keys was important, and like only one torch, I didn't feel like it would be enough to break us out of that situation. Like I could throw it at a ghost, so yeah, absolutely I agree with that. But yeah, I just one quick mention about the dragon scale. I find myself finding Grinham and Chantlin very late in these races, and when I get there, my inventory's full, and I don't want to sell something to get the dragon scale, so I always just hope that I'll find it in a chest. And last time I found it in the basement of Sharlock. This time I found it in the last healing town, which was Remolder. Kind of funny.
That is actually pretty funny. So Miplet is still going here, but I don't know, DK. What else do you have for these guys? We don't want to keep them here indefinitely. So if you guys have any final comments or anything you want to say, I think maybe there's a few more races that a couple of you guys need to finish out. So good luck on those.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, for Dabbit, I know he's got at least one more race. Can't quite do anything as far as getting into brackets, but has a chance to play spoilers. And then I know NESCard, you have how many? I think you have one more race as well. To go.
One on Sunday.
Yep. So lots of positioning. Any thoughts going into these final races, or any overall thoughts on the seed or anything else before we wrap you guys up?
I've just been really looking forward to them. This is my third race night in a row, and they just keep getting more exciting every evening. And so I'm just really looking forward to it at this point. And as always, I want to really thank all the organizers. There have been something like 100, 200 races already in this tournament within like 3 weeks, and that is amazing. The amount of coverage that's been overseen over these races. So everyone really appreciates all the work you're doing, and I thank you very much for all that.
Yeah, I definitely want to second that, what NESCard said. The amount of effort that goes into just putting these events on. NESCard also, a great game. It was honestly an honor to race against you, just because that's kind of how I got my start watching your streams. And I'll be honest, I almost didn't enter this tournament. I wasn't sure if I was going to have the time to do it, but I'll credit DK and Aaron for kind of maybe nudging me and saying, hey, go ahead, get in this tournament. My goal was to win one race. I did that, so I'm having fun. This was a great experience.
Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank everybody on this. Pretty much what NESCard said. It's amazing how much organization has to go on for this round. Everybody did an amazing job. Thank you so much for putting the stream on, too. It's a lot of work put in. Everybody give them a follow.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Make sure you give these runners a follow. They all do. They've all been doing so fantastic. There's been some absolutely ridiculously crazy good races amongst these runners. So definitely do that. Thanks for putting that in the chat for me, Camion. And outside of that, good luck. It looks like both NESCard and Dabbit, your final races are both against Ryguy. So you have some big opportunities there to play some spoilers with Ryguy and his record. But other than that, good luck with the rest of your races. And thank you, Sassage, for showing up this year. Hope it goes a little smoother for you next time.
Yeah, thank you. I guess I couldn't do any better than last year, making it to the quarterfinals. But either way, a lot of fun, and time to relax a little. Had Z1R in this going for a while, and now time to get back to a little bit better life, or more life.
Very Very good. Well, thank you guys. I mean, you're free to hang out with us and watch Miplet with us, but I'm sure everybody has places to go as well. I don't think that there's more races on the schedule tonight, but correct me if I'm wrong, DK. So I think we're probably just going to hang out and watch, see if Miplet can finish this out.
Exactly. Yep. These were the, surprisingly, there was one other race that started at 9:30, but clearly we won't be going to that. So outside of that, we have an action-packed day tomorrow. We can kind of cover that a little bit while we're wrapping up here. We'll see which ones we can bring you live, but we do have action starting as early as 5 p.m. Eastern with Old Vampire Lady versus Jay Coper. At 6 o'clock, we do have it already set for a restream on RPG Limit Break. A big matchup in the Slime group, which our top 2 runners are in, between Rye Guy 3745 and Bob Pineapple MD. That's going to have big bracket implications there. Coming into us at 8:30, the Hangry Canuck and Ferran Burgundy out of the Magician group. At 9 o'clock, a couple really big races as far as bracket implications for their respective groups. You have myself versus Tristal at 9, and then Jouf versus my co-commentator up to NG at 9. And both of those, like I said, have big implications on the brackets and possible seeding for those respective groups as well. And then still 3 more races after that. We have 2 at 9:30 with Marashu versus Cyberdark 86 and the Seawolf 1 versus F. Coughlin. And then wrapping out tomorrow night at 10 p.m. will be Dr. Mr. Holmes versus Beef Supreme TV. So yeah, a ton of races tomorrow. We'll see which one of those races outside the 6 p.m. do get restreamed. So keep an ear out for announcements on Discord, on this channel, or RPG Limit Break.
It's incredible how many races there's going to be tomorrow. Yeah, I have been it took me so long to schedule my races. I was definitely not quick about it, so I still have a bunch more to go before the weekends here. I was so interested in like jumping in on commentary and watching the races and stuff that I was a little slow about scheduling, but it is all going to happen. I have everything scheduled, so it's going to be a fun week of racing and seeing how all of the final spots are sort of, everybody already has all their playoff scenarios, like, in full swing now on the Discord, and things, all these races have implications, and the 1 seed gets the bye, and then you have the 2 and the 3 out of every group moving on, and all of those kinds of things will be resolved as we have more and more races in the next few days. The group stage is almost over here.
Yeah, this has been exciting as heck. Zarnak's asking us if we're going to be back to comms same time tomorrow. I'd say let's do it. We'll comms our own races here. Heck, they might be able to get us in the quad. We could be in the same seed.
That would be amusing.
Do it.
Yes, calming the same seed. That would be funny. Hey, I found this. Haha, you didn't find it.
All right, looks like at this time we're going to go ahead and be rating Tilo, who is currently restreaming with spoilers all of the races currently in progress. So he's got a multi-Twitch rocking there, and just a general area for everybody to be able to chat and talk about anything with spoilers. So if you want to be spoiled or have further spoiler conversation, feel free to stick around and hang out with us over there in that chat room. Otherwise, if you want to be spoiler free, definitely make sure you drop out before we complete that raid. But yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else tonight then up to NG?
No, but I mean, that's a good one to go to. He is very good at figuring out all these scenarios. So yeah, thanks again, DK. I'll let you wrap it up.
Perfect. Well, good luck to Miplet on the remainder of this race. He's getting close to finishing up, so hopefully he can get that completed. But for our restreamer, MathGirl718, both our trackers, Camion, Renikai, and Fryteeth, along with my co-commentator, Up to NG, I was DK9146. Everyone, have a good night and get excited. This week's going to be fantastic. Take care.